I love the gospel. I'm sitting over there just listening to the lyrics of the songs because I'm a lyric guy. Like, all my life I've been a lyric guy because I love to sing. I know what I'm singing. That's why music can be so dangerous for you. Because music bypasses your brain and goes straight to your heart. So that's why, like, when you're listening to, like, because there's songs out there that the rhythm and the beat and everything is so good, but then the lyrics, they're just nasty. And so what happens is that starts to go on repeat in your soul. And so it's not legalism to tell you to listen to the right music. It's relationally wrong to listen to the wrong music about the wrong stuff. Because what happens is you start to sing that stuff. I mean, how many of you grew up, gosh. I grew up singing songs like Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne and Metallica and Megadeth and all that stuff. That's how I grew up. I grew up singing that stuff. So when I got saved, I thought it's over for music for me because everything I listened to was demonic. But I had no idea it was demonic because I couldn't see. Then when I got saved, I was like, now what? I go to church and I hear like worship songs. I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool, but it's not what I listen to. Like when I first got saved, I saw people lifting their hands and I'm like, these people are psycho. I did. I was like, I don't understand that. And there are still people that grow up in church, they go to a certain kind of service, have been to a certain kind of service, have been through a certain way, and then when they come into a worship service where there's electric guitars and people like jumping around, they're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm not lifting my hands. But for me, I saw people lifting their hands and I'm like, what is wrong with everybody? I went up to a worship leader after the service, and this is just when I first got saved. I said, why are people doing this? This is like so weird. He said, when you were a little kid and you fell down and hurt your knee and you saw your dad, what did you do? I went, and he goes, that's exactly right. It means pick me up, Dad. And I went, I'm in. That was easy for me. But I went to concerts, and it was this. I didn't even know what that meant, but it was the thing to do. I sang in a band. People were rowdy and hitting each other and moshing, and I'm like, yeah. But man, when I got saved, I heard this, hallelujah, and I was like, eh. But I opened this book, and I saw all these psalms in here, and I saw make a joyful noise and a dance, and I'm like, what? Oh my God, I still haven't gotten the dance thing. I mean, I do, but not like my daughter's like, come on, Dad. I'm like, no. But it's different. See, wholehearted surrender doesn't mean you just come to church. Wholehearted surrender doesn't mean you just wear a Christian t-shirt. Wholehearted surrender doesn't mean you just have a Christian bumper sticker. By the way, it's weird to have a bumper sticker go by you at 90 and at 55 that says Jesus loves you. But what does it mean to live worthy, man? What does it mean? Back in Pennsylvania, we lived right above the Maryland border, and we had these things called blue crabs. I don't know if you guys know what that even means. Do you know what blue crabs are? You're Texans, so. But blue crabs, they smother them with Old Bay, and they cook them in a bushel. They steam them, and they're like the best eaten ever. So I was like, man, and so my wife found a place that just opened up that was going to sell blue crabs. And I'm like, what? Like, it's a miracle. We're here. We know we're supposed to be here. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I was just talking to a guy there, and I started to share with him. He was talking about my hair. He was, man, I love your blanking hair. And he wasn't churched. And I started to talk to him, and then I started to share the gospel with him. He goes, come on, man, you're messing with me. He used a lot of other words. And I said, no. I said, I'm really serious. He goes, come on, man, for real? Like, you're not going to go there, are you? I said, we're already there. So I started to share my heart with him. And he's like, listen, dude, I grew up in the Bible Belt. I'm like, okay. Like, you grew up in the Bible Belt. What does that mean? That means that religion was forced on you when you were younger. And you got really angry because someone tried to make you believe something that they didn't walk out. And so they didn't walk it out, so you didn't want anything to do with what they believed, what they said to believe, so you didn't want that. So what you've done is you've pushed away a real God because you saw a fake representation. So here's my question for you. What are you going to do when you meet Jesus one day? Are you going to tell him, well, you know what? They were fake and they forced me and they did this and they did that. You have a very short window of opportunity to say yes to a real God. And I said, and you let a false representation totally steer you away, and now you've rebelled against that way, and they're religious, and they're religious, and they're religious. So he started talking about weed right away. He goes, I got some Christians that are friends. They get upset when I talk to them about me smoking weed. And I looked at him and I said, man, why would they get upset about that? And he's like, all right, a Christian that smokes weed. I promise. And I said, you know what's crazy, man? This is, I'm talking to you about this, and you can relate to me because I've got dreads a little bit, but then I drop the Jesus thing, and you're like, ah. Then we start talking about weed, and you're like, ah. And he said, didn't God make weed? I said, yeah, he did. I said, did he make poppy seeds? We should go do heroin then, because that'd be cool. And he's like, well, no, I mean, that's stupid, but weed, man, makes me feel. I said, you know what it is? I smoked an ounce of weed a week for 22 years straight. Burned out every brain cell. I fried everything. I was a wake and bake guy. I got high every morning. I woke up. I had bong hits for breakfast. I'm not kidding. Some of you don't know what I mean, but most of you do. I had a little one-hitter. Most of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you do. Most of you wouldn't admit it. But I had this little one-hitter, and I'd bring it everywhere to work. Whenever I had a spare moment, I was getting high all the time. Why? Because I had no peace, and I thought that weed gave me peace. And so what happened was when I got really stoned, it numbed everything, and that was my revelation of peace. But it lifted, and I had to get high to maintain that. And so I had to keep getting high and keep partying and keep doing this. It's called lust, man. And it's like Christmas morning when you're 4 years old and the presents run out. I don't care what kid you are, you could teach them, now be thankful, but when present time is, it's shred time. And you get to the end, you're looking for another one, and if someone else has one, you're upset because they got one and you don't. I'm serious. And then when it's over, and it's like, man, I'm gonna wait till next Christmas. It's just like that. It's called chasing the buzz, man. So when I got saved, something amazing happened. So I'm telling this guy, the only reason you smoke weed is because you have no peace, bro. I got peace. Like right now, you don't have peace. You're talking to me and you don't have peace. You're upset at me talking about Jesus. He goes, I kind of like you. I got a lot of questions. I said, God's got a lot of answers, man. He goes, maybe we could just talk sometime. I said, we're talking right now. And this is just like out by my truck. We're just sitting there talking in the parking lot. And he's cussing up a storm thinking that he's going to get me upset by his cuss words. But how could I expect him to speak any different when his heart's not right? But when I first got saved, I was like, my whole language changed. I didn't read the scripture, let no filthy language come out of your mouth. It just happened. Like it was really cool. And then I read later in Colossians, and I read in Ephesians, and I read about the language thing, and I'm like, that's why. But the F word was every other word in my vocabulary. It was constant. I use the word Jesus Christ all the time, but mostly when I was angry. Isn't it amazing that people use, like they say, God damned things? Isn't it amazing that the world doesn't say, Buddha damn it? Why don't they say that? Because there's no power in it. Now watch, the devil has tried to make power in God damn the world when God saved the world. So he's twisted it, God damn. In other words, God is damning people. God didn't damn anybody but the enemy. See, when I talk like I see, some people get upset. He's like, he said God damn in the service. I don't think that's right. But in the context of what I'm sharing it's not right to say it. Why? Because God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever would believeth in him wouldn't perish. Come on. God so loved the world. Why? Because he paid a price to save the world. When we get saved, we're actually supposed to come out and be separate. We're actually supposed to be completely separate than the world. In other words, like when you share your testimony with somebody, like this guy that I was sharing in the parking lot with, they should be freaking out because it has nothing to do with who they're talking with. And that was his problem. See, I said to him, religion can't do this to you, bro. Religion can't do anything but make you religious, and religious hurts people. Religion crucified Jesus on the tree. Religion hung Jesus, who was innocent, on a tree as guilty so that we could remain innocent. That's Jesus. Religion. It says in the Bible that pure religion is this: caring for orphans and widows and keeping yourself unspotted by the world. Sometimes we forget that part. What does unspotted by the world mean? Not blemish, no spot, no wrinkle, no stuff, no junk. No junk. Does that mean that I'm religious because I say no? See, people think this is legalism. It's not. I love God. So if I love God, there should be none of that stuff in my life. But if I don't love God, that stuff's in my life. Why? Because if I don't love God, I love the world. I love the things in the world. I love the stuff of the world. I love money. If I love money, I can't love God. You can either love God or love mammon. You can't love both. You can't. Money makes an amazing servant, but a terrible master. Money is a terrible master because if money is your master, it rules your life. But if Jesus is your master, money becomes a servant to serve the gospel. It's totally different. 100% different. You guys, people, we are representatives of the gospel. What does it mean to represent Jesus? Represent Jesus. What's that mean? Again. What are we going to do? We're going to show what Jesus looks like again, what Jesus walks like again, how Jesus would communicate again, how Jesus would heal again.